will look at the top 10 ways to read actively. Number 10, begin reading before you begin reading. That's right, you want to pre-read. Take a moment before you begin reading word for word to check out your textbook or your journal article or whatever you might be reading. Look for headings, chapter titles, particular questions you might need to answer. See how the author has arranged the book. This will save you a lot of time in the long run. Number 9, figure out new words. Context clues, word parts, and dictionaries are your friends. If you're reading a chapter out of your book, Packing from Mars, and you don't understand some words, go ahead and highlight them. The more words that you understand, the quicker you'll get through text. Number 8, what's the point? You want to mark the main idea. At the very least, when you're reading, the main idea is going to be one of the most important things for you to identify. So figure out how you want to mark it. In this case, you might want to highlight it or put a star next to it. Whatever you choose to do, be consistent all the way through so when you review your text, you will know where the main idea is. Okay, number 7, step away from the highlighter. Try writing notes in the margin instead. Especially if your textbook looks just like this. Sometimes we don't know exactly what we should highlight, so instead, go ahead and write tons of notes in the margins. These will be much more helpful to you as you study than particular passages that you just might highlight. Number 6, play a little Jeopardy. Yeah, turn headings into questions. So in this instance, if you see adaptable ants, you might want to ask yourself, what makes ants so adaptable? I also see 3 other headings right here, and you might want to go ahead and ask questions about those headers as well, about cattle tenders and honeypots and so on. Number 5, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Make diagrams of what you read. Sometimes little notes are not enough. Some of you might be very visual learners, and there are just subjects that lend themselves much better to diagrams than they do to text. So in this case, if you're looking at the rock cycle, you don't have to get as intense and get all your colored markers and crayons out, although that could help. But go ahead and draw a picture, and that picture will better teach you what you need to know than will just the text. Number 4. Remember, sentence equals paragraph. Okay, boil each paragraph down to 1 sentence. Okay, in this case, there's a whole entire paragraph, but the key in here is that the rock cycle contains 3 types of rocks: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. This will speed up my time as I'm reviewing for tests and exams because I don't have to read the whole entire paragraph over again. I'll get the major idea from the sentence that I created. Number 3, do something. Okay, summarize a chapter in your own words. In this case, if you had Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, or it could be one of the chapters from Packing for Mars. One great way to understand what you've read is to really think about the major things that happened in that chapter and summarize it. So in this example, we see a summary of Chapter 1 of Great Expectations. And think of it, especially when we're thinking about literature, think about it as if you're telling somebody about a movie you just saw. You're not going to sit there and tell them all 2 hours, every single detail. You'll tell them the major characters, the major storylines, and that will be enough for them to understand the movie. So you want to do the same thing when you're summarizing a chapter. Highlight the major ideas and the major points without giving away too many details. Number 2, test yourself. Develop your own test questions. So if you're studying something like mitosis and you see this particular image, you might want to ask yourself, what are the 5 stages of mitosis? Besides just asking yourself the question, underneath the question, write the answer. Just jot that down or put it in your notes. In this case, it'd be interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis. I think that's how you say it. And the top way to do active reading is to go tell on the mountain. Okay, share what you read with someone else. By sharing what you've read with someone else, first of all, you might have questions and the other person can help you understand. But a good way for us to understand is if we can explain it to somebody else. So I hope you will go ahead and take these tactics as opposed to being a very passive reader. Become an active reader and begin talking with your text. In that way, you will read more quickly, comprehend more, and get through all your college reading more efficiently.